Wow, that's a big belly. Why did that make me feel dysphoric? It's not me in the video. I would definitely question your gender dysphoria or like your transness, whatever you want to call it. I feel so dumb.
Can men get pregnant? Yes. Trans men can get pregnant. And they've been given a nickname, seahorse daddies, because obviously. Unfortunately, there's some, well, let's call them offensive trannies that have some uncomfortable feelings about trans men getting pregnant. So let's watch his feelings and react. Just to be clear, this dude's YouTube is titled The Offensive Tranny. So that's not me slurring him, that's literally how he self-identifies. And we here at Zach's Strange Corners of Thought respect how Mr. Tranny self-identifies.
Well, that's cute. No matter what, this is the biological mother of the child, and no surgeries, no hormones can ever change that fact.
One of the dudes I know who gave birth, they put on the baby certificate that he was the birthing parent and his partner was the supporting parent. Words are social constructs. We can call them whatever we want. Humanity has literally just been winging it for like a million years or something.
A person is not required to give up their choice or their ability to give birth just because they transition.
And those who identify as male giving birth doesn't make you less of a man.
That's debatable. Being a man, it's not a spectrum. Either you're a man or you're not a man. But if we're talking about in the trans world, I would definitely question your gender dysphoria or like your transness, whatever you want to call it.
Just because somebody is stronger than you doesn't mean that they didn't experience dysphoria. You have no idea if they experienced dysphoria. They probably felt extreme dysphoria. But just because somebody is stronger than you doesn't somehow make them less valid of a trans person. And just to be clear, like, I've watched his videos. He clearly had very severe gender dysphoria, which he says is basically alleviated now, and he's very happy. So I'm not trying to invalidate the dysphoria that he's gone through.
Of course, not all transmasculine or non-binary people want or choose to give birth. But for those who do, that should be respected.
There's a difference between respecting that some are doing that and then being critical of their trans identity.
I've actually known some seahorse daddies, and after talking with them, it was fucking miserable. They were incredibly dysphoric. They hated being pregnant. But you want to know what? People who are in love sacrifice a lot. They will go through a lot to give someone that they love a child if they're able to have it. Now, I personally don't think anybody should be having children. Like, we need way less people on this planet. But I can also tell you, as somebody who has been in love before, that you will make sacrifices that you wouldn't normally make, that you will do stupid things that you wouldn't normally do, that you will do painful things that you would not normally do. Again, just because these other people are significantly stronger than you, which is not to invalidate anything that you've been through, does not then make these other people less valid.
So yes, women do give birth, but so do some men and non-binary people.
And what do they have in common? They're all biological females.
Okay, so this is technically true. If you are a trans man and you identify as a man and you choose to get pregnant, you have to detransition your biological sex in order to get pregnant and give birth. But you don't have to detransition your gender identity or your gender expression or the way that you portray yourself or want to be portrayed in the world, the type of embodiedness that you have. If you identify as a man, you want to have a masculine, a male type of embodiedness. But again, that's describing gender, which is something separate from biological sex. Now, Mr. Tranny believes that gender is merely the sex characteristic of your brain, which in reality it's far more complicated than that description, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll just go with that. So for Mr. Tranny, a person is trans if they were born with a female body but a male brain. Even under this framework, detransitioning your biological sex wouldn't affect your gender. Hence the need for Mr. Tranny to doubt the legitimacy that these trans men actually have male brains.
Hey, wow, there's some people who want to know what a seahorse dad is. Should we tell them? Yeah, so a seahorse dad is oftentimes a trans male or a trans masculine person who has carried their own baby. Yeah, because male seahorses are actually the ones who carry the baby and give birth to all the offspring, which is why oftentimes you'll see me tag seahorse dad or sporting seahorses. This is my seahorse baby.
Oh, the hiccups. That's so cute. I know that they don't think that they're literally a seahorse. It's a way for them to still feel like they're men by rejecting the biological element of the pregnancy. As I said before, me acknowledging the truth about my situation. I acknowledge that I'm a biological female.
You're not a biological female anymore. You've gotten rid of most of your female sex characteristics. You literally have more male sex characteristics than you did before. Mr. Tranny often says that he was born a biological female and he will die a biological female.
My biology is female. I was born that way. I will die that way.
Well, he's wrong. You were born a biological cis female. You will die a biological trans male. Because a trans male does not have the same biology as a cis female. Just like they don't have the exact same biology as someone like me, a cis scum male.
I acknowledge that I'm a biological female and I live as a man, but I'm not one. It improved my mental health drastically.
Yes. Because you changed your sex characteristics. That's what improved your mental health.
One of the most commonly asked questions I receive is if and when I'm having another baby. And I wish people asked me how I'm doing as often as they asked me if I'm having another baby, because I'm still trying to survive the hormonal changes of having the first one.
I cannot even imagine what the body is going through. I mean, a female body on testosterone for years is off testosterone for a while, on estrogen, and, the body is giving birth. Like, holy moly, that's a lot of...
Holy moly, indeed.
Is this unhealthy? Like, from a medical standpoint, is this an unhealthy decision?
Is getting pregnant and giving birth an unhealthy decision? Yes! Getting pregnant does not benefit the person who is pregnant. That's why women who get pregnant multiple times end up getting osteoporosis. And that's why there's maternal mortality rates. Like, what?
Is it dangerous? I would like to know.
Here, let's just look it up. Let's look it up.
Clackety, 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 clackety.
So in the United States where I live, the maternal mortality rate is 23.8 out of every 100,000. And I don't think that they're counting trans men in that. So yes, pregnancy is dangerous. In the United States, for people of a Caucasian persuasion, it's 19.1 maternal deaths out of 100,000. And for black women in the United States, it's 55.3 maternal deaths out of 100,000. So Mr. Tranny is actually from Denmark. In Denmark, they have a much lower maternal mortality rate, 4 out of every 100,000. Must be really nice having universal health care. But still, it's still dangerous. So it's not... Giving birth is not a safe thing to do. I mean, for millennia, women have died on the birthing bed.
I just don't think it's healthy for trans men, mentally and physically, to do the most female thing in the world, to give birth.
It's not, and for many cis females, it's also not healthy to do the most female thing in the world. Just
cool question. So I said in a previous video that I didn't feel that my uterus is female, which is true, I don't. So why would I take testosterone? And here's the thing. I don't feel my uterus is female. For me, it just feels like a natural part of my body because I don't have dysphoria around that area, but some people do, and so they have a hysterectomy. For me, my body before testosterone gave me dysphoria, so I took testosterone to masculinize. But not everybody does. Somebody can be trans and never take testosterone. They can still be trans, still feel entirely like a man or non-binary, and their body is fine the way it is. They don't need to change it.
And how can you as a transsexual not feel dysphoric about your reproductive system that literally determines your biology?
The exact same way that you do not have bottom dysphoria, as you've said in your own videos.
Absolutely no bottom dysphoria, and I'm so fucking grateful because
the brain is a complicated thing. Now, for Mr. Tranny, he's a trans medicalist. To him, gender is merely the sex characteristic of your brain. People are wired differently, so it's not surprising that some people would have dysphoria related to different parts than others, because everybody's brain is different. So the last thing I wanted to do is look through some of these comments because somehow they're actually more cringe than the video. Here's one comment. I feel for the kids if the parents are that hell-bent on something they aren't. How are the kids gonna grow up mentally? With a loving parent, probably more than one, probably they're gonna be okay. Yeah. As well as any other kid will be. I can only pray these kids don't grow up confused. These people are already confused enough and are going to pass all that along. So sad. Yeah, having a loving parent that breastfeeds them, which is supposedly really healthy, that's not going to mess up kids. You want to know what messes up kids? Drug addiction, alcoholism, abuse, sexual assault and rape, neglect, poverty, malnourishment. All of those things actually fuck up kids all the time. We have lots of evidence of that. When you guys say stuff like this, you literally sound like what people used to say. It's like, oh, if they have two gay dads or if they have two gay moms, that kid's gonna be so messed up. And again, there's just like no evidence to show this at all. Like, you just sound like a fucking dinosaur. Ugh. I also saw some comments under his video asking about the consequences for the fetus of being on testosterone. This was a missed opportunity on Mr. Tranny's part, which tells me he's not really interested in the science as he claims. In order to get pregnant, a trans man needs all of their reproductive organs and needs to stop taking testosterone. So this wouldn't affect the fetus because they're not taking any additional testosterone that the body doesn't naturally produce. So let me know in the comments what you think about this video, what you think about Mr. Tranny's video, what you think about seahorse dads or trans men getting pregnant, and any additional questions that you might have. And I'll see you the next time you make a wrong turn in one of my strange corners of thought. Bye. special thanks to you, Srepit, for supporting the channel on Patreon.